Hi, it's Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I wanted to do another chopping block video. I've been really strangely enjoying this. I am normally the sort of person who I spent money on it, I'm going to use it to the bitter end, but the reality that I've come to is that I don't actually do that. It sits there and it kind of just collects dust, and then later I realize that I don't like it, so I don't purchase it again, but that there's a lot of things that just end up being wasted in my collection. And this idea of going through and trying things and getting rid of what doesn't work for me has been fantastic, because then either I can share it with somebody else, or if it's truly not good anymore because I let it sit too long, because yes, obviously I've done that, I just pitch it, and then I don't have that physical reminder of a bad purchase. So thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, would you please? And I am going to start by, I thought we'd also do a little catching up. This might be a little long. I put a video out in late December talking about, this is primer by the way, it's the Touch and Soul No Poreblem primer, about my headaches and my journey with brain surgery and all those other things, and I had so many people so encouraging, so kind. So if you watched it, thank you. If you sent me a thoughtful, encouraging comment afterwards, really, I can't tell you how much that means to me. It's something I kind of put in a box and pretend isn't happening. But I did mention at one point that I was going to let you know what was going on with all of that. So last I mentioned I'd had 4 brain surgeries. I have a ventriculoperitoneal shunt that drains extra spinal fluid, and they have been slowly changing the setting on my shunt. They've changed it 3 times in the last 2.5 months, and I really haven't had any significant improvement from the changing they're doing. They were hoping that my headaches came from the fact that too much spinal fluid was being removed, and I'm of the opinion that's not the case. They have also looked at all of my CTs and the MRI that I had in late December, and oddly enough, a lot of things and problems that I had pre-surgery in October 2017 are still there. Too much of my brain is kind of jamming and plugging up. The opening at the base of your skull where your spinal cord comes up, it comes up through this hole called the foramen magnum and connects to your brain. So I have very little, almost no spinal fluid flow in that area, and you should have a lot more than I do. I have hardly any. I also have other problems with my ventricles. There are 4 ventricles in your brain where your brain creates spinal fluid. Those are all smaller than they should be, so they hope by changing the setting on my shunt, those would get bigger, that would decrease my headache. That hasn't happened. For foundation today, I'm going to be using the No Filter stick from Colourpop. I have the shade Fair 07N, and I'm just going to swipe some of this on. They did find that a lot of the problems that I had pre-surgery in 2017 were still there. There's not adequate spinal fluid flow between the head and the spine. They also found that the problem that I deal with, which is Chiari malformation, it's a problem I was born with, where part of my brain is too big for my skull. And part of my brain has been removed. Part of the bone in my skull has been removed to make more room for it. A lot of things have been done, but I still have that problem. And when I was in Seattle last night, I asked my provider about it. I happened to be seeing the physician's assistant as opposed to the neurosurgeon, and they're like, I can't answer that question for you. My question was, if we did surgery to correct this, why is this still exactly like it was pre-surgery in 2017? So long story short, I'm headed back at the end of this month to talk to the neurosurgeon to get all of my questions answered based on the findings of my MRI and my CT. I'll have another CT when I'm there. They may choose to send me to see neurology for a neurologist who specializes just in headaches. My worry is just that at that point, I've already seen this neurologist and they already got me to a point where there was nothing more they could do and referred me to the neurosurgeon. And I think there is that line that they're trying to walk of making sure that all the hoops that the insurance requires them to go through have been jumped through. And then also, there's only so much surgery you can do before it's just not going to be helpful. I've been really anxious, truth be told, about the situation. Is the neurosurgeon washing his hands, saying nothing else I can do, go see neurology? And having already been to the neurologist and no longer being able to be treated by her because she got to the point where she couldn't do anything else and she referred me to neurosurgery, am I going to get kind of caught in that place where nobody's going to be able to find anything helpful? I think right now what's bothering me the most is the anxiety, the not knowing. Will there be a surgical answer? Will there be a medicine answer like a drug or something that they could inject, a treatment of some sort? Or will both the doctors go, I can't do anything? And after hearing that from 11 other doctors, previous to 2017, I quit seeing specialists and just lived with it. And the idea of getting back to that place and not having a possible solution really is messing with my head. So, nothing's worse. There's just no answer yet, and there's been no answer since November. And I'm kind of going cuckoo here. All right, so I just used the Cover FX Power Play Concealer in the shade N-Light 1 underneath my eyes. I actually really like the way this looks, and I feel like it's working really well, especially since I had on a little bit of the Magic Vanish from Charlotte Tilbury. I find that that works best for me when I don't put any primer under my eyes, and that goes on after all of my skincare, but before my foundation and concealer. So for powder today, I'm going to be using this. This is from Flower Beauty. This is their Miracle Glow Satin Finishing Powder. I know I like this powder, but I haven't used it in a while. It is a bit of a mess. Oh, that's the one thing, is I don't really appreciate the packaging for this product. Very bulky, very bulky. I forgot, I pulled out some cream products. So I've only set like the corners of my nose right here and right underneath the eye with this powder. And I'm glad I stopped because I wanted to put on some more cream products. We might do a light dusting over the top. I'm using a product today I haven't used in a while, but I have always loved it. It's from Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Hollywood Contour Wand, and it looks a little scary at first, but I love it because it's like really dark. I have a little bit more on this applicator than I would normally want, so I'm just gonna dot it where I want it and then we'll blend it in. And I love it because it blends so beautifully just with a sponge. And it never looks like it's too much. It looks so natural. Like, oh, gorgeous. For blush today, I'm going to be using the blush Stix from Colourpop. I have always loved the stick formula for foundation and for blush from Colourpop. So I'm just gonna tap this on here and blend it with my sponge. I find that if I swipe it on at this point, sometimes I do end up getting just a little bit of movement for the base product that I have down. It's interesting that contour product from Charlotte Tilbury is more liquid, and so I feel like that blends perfectly with the sponge, but I always like the way that this looks and how my fingers diffuse it out. So we're doing that today. And I am going to be using one of the highlight sticks. This is called the Lite stick, and this is in the shade Urth. And at this point, I feel like if I put this on, it's just too much. So I just put some on my finger, I grab it like this, and then I just tap it in where I want it. I want more of a light, natural glow today. I don't need it to be like beaming from the heavens. So today for shadow, I am using this from the Balm. It's the Meet Match Maker. It's basically a bunch of duos. You can, of course, use these shadows however you want, but one of them is matte and one of them is metallic. And I have always liked the colors in here. I'm going to start with the lightest shade in here. This is called Matte Lemos. just gonna plop that on to kind of set my eyeshadow primer. I'm gonna go into this medium brown here. This is called Matte Stupak, I think. And I'm gonna use that in the crease. It's probably gonna be a really basic look today because I've got such, you know, light blush highlight. I'm feeling kind of like a less is more look. We'll see. We'll see how we get. I don't know if this is a good idea. I'm gonna pick up some of this shade here. It's kind of like a mauve tone. This is Matte Chivern, and I'm gonna put just a little bit of this right on the outside corner here to give it a little bit more depth, but just a hair more warmth too, because it kind of walks the line between like brown and almost a terracotta-y shade. I think it's pretty. I'm going to take a combination of both of these matte shades here, the two that I've already used. I'm going to run those just under the eye. I'm going to go into this kind of pinky metallic look here and tap this on the lid, inner corner to kind of middle of the lid. So this is a really easy face for me today. It did not take long at all. I used a primer I know I can count on. I still do really like the really light to maybe light medium coverage you can get from the Colourpop foundation stick. I don't wear a ton, but just enough to kind of even out the skin tone. I think this is a beautiful product. I had remembered this product being a little bit more drying under the eye. Maybe I'm better at hydrating my under eyes right now, or maybe it's the accompaniment of this. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Vanish color corrector, and I had been using this when I first got it after foundation, before concealer, but I feel like it works best for me if I put it on before foundation and concealer. So just kind of rearranging 1, 2, 3, and it really helped a lot. I do love this powder from Flower Beauty. I think it's always been a beautiful powder. And what's interesting is that I went over the top of these cream products that I put on my face with just a little light dusting of this, and I feel like it might help with the longevity. For the face products, still love this. This is a winner for me, and when I'm done with this, I will definitely get another. I love how easily it blends out, but remember, it does really transfer to whatever sponge you're using, but it washes out okay. I don't ever find that this stains anything, but I love how quickly and blendable, and it gives shape to my face. I do love these. I used a combo of both of these, both Mic Drop and Mini Me today. I kept Mic Drop more here and a little bit of Mini Me here. I started out with just Mic Drop and I was like, you know what, I have another one of those. And I do like these, and I think they're beautiful products from Colourpop. I love that. I feel like I'm getting to the point where I've kind of cut enough dead weight that when I pull stuff out, I know that it works for me. Now, the one concern I have with the light sticks from Colourpop is that I have 2 shades. The shade I'm wearing today is Urth, and it's just enough to give me a little bit of a highlight, and there's no glitter in it. And the other shade I have is called, what is it, Star Bright, and it has some glitter. Maybe I need to just say, you're not for me. I think this one's gonna go in the declutter pile. So I feel like this is a really great palette from the Balm. I'll tell you what I like most about this is that you get 2 colors that complement each other and go well together. I used every single matte on the top and then this kind of pinky, slightly foiled shade on my lid. So 4 shades today, super easy. Literally took me like 3.5, 4 minutes to get it. They blended really well and they built up nicely on top of each other. I haven't always loved every single Balm palette. I do like this one a lot. I am quite particular and really enjoy this one. And I feel like if you're not a big eyeshadow person, if maybe it can seem a little intimidating at times, this is a great way to start because you do have them nicely paired. These 2 go together, these 2 go together. And then the rest of the colors here work well enough that you can pick one of these and one of these. You can do a multitude of looks with this, but it's very, very, very simple at only 12 shades. Brows were kind of they were a little rough today. Let me tell you what I did. This is from Essence. This is the Super Last 24-Hour Eyebrow Pomade Pencil. Waterproof. First of all, I don't like the fact that it doesn't have a spoolie. It has this weird little kind of silicone-y brush. I don't know if it's plastic or silicone, but you're supposed to be able to rake it through your brows, and I find that I can't do that, and I can't distribute and move the product that way. The other thing that I don't like about this, I think the tone is okay. I just have the shade brown, but I find that this pencil is very, very, it's a lot. And that whole bit about it being pomade, it's really dark, but also at times as it gets caught in my hairs, it skips in my brows. And when you're writing it, drawing it on your hand, it looks perfect. But the minute I'm trying to get it in between brows, more of it collects when it hits an actual hair. It kind of grabs onto the hair and I get a little chunk clump there. And then as I continue to go on, I can make it work. I just have to work hard. And I don't want to work hard because there are other pencils from the drugstore that work well for me. This one I think is one that I don't want to work this hard to distribute the product. The last thing I did is I threw in some Legendary Brows from Charlotte Tilbury. This is a tinted fiber brow gel with the smallest little teeny tiniest mascara wand here that you can just brush through your brows. I have the shade Linda. I think I need to go up one more shade because this one worked better when I was still dyeing my hair more of an auburn color. For lips today, I used a pencil I hadn't used in a while. It is the number 36 pencil from Bite Beauty. I know they discontinued their pencils. They're revamping their whole line. So I don't know whether they're going to bring back their pencil liners or if they still have them because I saw them on sale kind of like a clearance for a while. But the shade 36 is like my perfect nude. I topped it off with this. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the, I think it's called the Latex Love Gloss, and I have the shade Belle de Soir. And this is one of those things that came in my Beautylish Lucky Bag. And I'll tell you, I like it best when I don't have a thick layer on. Because if I have a thin layer, the color is pretty. It's definitely more on that peachy end of the spectrum, but it goes well with the eye look I have going on today. But if I get too much of it on there, it starts accentuating the look of the lines in my lips. Now my lips are perfectly exfoliated and very hydrated, but I'm 45. So every part of me has a few little lines on it. And I don't remember my lips being this lined before, but this kind of accentuates it. So I try not to wear too heavy a layer of this, but we'll see. The other thing I'll tell you is it's also very heavily scented. It's very, very fragrant, and it's kind of a floral makeup-y smell, and I don't love it. But I'm going to keep using it because I haven't had it that long. I like that I'm to the point where there's like only one thing, and this I'm just going to throw in the trash can right now. Everything else I liked. Oh, I feel like I'm doing much better because there was a point where this chopping block series, it was like get rid of half, sometimes get rid of more than half. It's nice to finally be getting to the point where I'm rediscovering what I have and really, really liking it. Thank you so much for watching today. Let me know if there is a specific category of makeup items you have a plethora of. Maybe you are knee deep in blush, or lipstick is your Achilles heel like it is mine and you've got a million of them. Let me know what product you have too many of, or if there are certain types of products that you love to purchase, but then don't use until they kind of languish in the back of the drawer. I would love to know about those as well. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. I will definitely leave my playlist of all my chopping blocks right here in one of these areas so that you can grab one of those and watch those if this series is of interest to you. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.